Tonight we're doing a CL1. I recently found out that I had ordered 5-inch arms, or I actually had ordered 6-inch arms for the CL1 or HD1, and they had actually shipped me 5-inch arms, and I'd ordered them way back in November of 2019. So, and I just don't fly that quad enough to really have broken an arm. And when I went to go look at them and do a 6-inch build, I found out that they were wrong. And I pinged them, not expecting really a response, just letting them know, hey, did some go out like this? I must have gotten upset. Unfortunately, they were all out of them. And but they were nice enough to send me a set of arms for their new 7-inch Deadcat. And it uses the same main body as the CL1 or HD1. And these are add-on arms that you can get. So if you have a CL1 or HD1 and you want to run a 7-inch, guess what? You can buy these arms separate for about 30 bucks. And I got these for free from Rotor Riot, and they were great. Service was great. Support was great. They didn't ask any questions. They didn't want to know what order number. None of that. They didn't care. They just did right, and I appreciate that. And went ahead and bought another set. So we're going to use this one tonight on a 7-inch CL1. So we've got 7-inch arms. Like I said, there's a new. The arms are just a little thicker, as you can see. They're like, oh gosh, I can tell you how thick they are, rather than guessing. They are. Gosh, they look pretty thick. These look like 8 mil. Yep, 8 mil arms. So, yeah, that's pretty thick. And I think the standard arms are something like 5 millimeter. So, still beefy, but these are definitely bigger and beefier. And they're heavier too. So you get two kind of straight angled rear ones and two kind of hard angled front ones like this, and so that forms your basic Deadcat. The arms are wider up front and kind of normal in the back, and I really like flying my CL1, or I'm sorry, my Source 1 Deadcat, and it's kind of my primary long range quad, and I always wanted sort of a CL1 version because CL1 was the first quad I ever built, and it's just kind of nice. So, and the CL1 kit is right here, and we'll tear into this, and then for the flight controller, we're going to be running a T-Motor F722, and for whatever reason, the ESC that this was on, a T-Motor F55, ended up blowing. So I went and bought the cheapest that was available, which was like a $30 Hyphon RC H45. It's a BL Heli 32 30x30 45 amp ESC. So we'll find out if these are any good, and I'm going to have to make a cable, no doubt about it, but I guess that won't take too long. The motors, we're doing the Brother Hobby Avengers. These are the 2806.5, except this is a weird one. It was on sale because it's a weird one. It's 1460 kV. I normally prefer a 1300 kV, and these 1460s are a little bit in a weird zone. They have they have a 1300 or 1460 and a 1700, and I really I couldn't tell you if this is 5S or 4S or 6S. I'm going to run it on 6S. Yeah, the 1460 was kind of an oddball size and not very popular, so they were like 12 bucks each. So I have 4 of those. And later on, if I don't like them, I'll swap them out for the standard ones. And of course, we're going to be running the Vista, the CATX Vista air unit. Unfortunately, this one has an 8 centimeter cable, and FPV Cycle now sells 20 centimeter cables. So we have, extra cable if we need it there. So that's what we're going to build, and let's get started. Yeah, Rotor Riot's been doing this, putting in this kind of goofy rubberized thing. I say goofy, but it's not that bad. It's just kind of goofy to me. It's like it's not grip, and it's rubberized, but I'm not sure why you wouldn't just put a little bit of grip in. Stuff works great. Alright, so the CL1 is made up of really 3 main components. You've got this as your bottom plate, and this is your top plate, and then actually it's like this. Yep. Top and bottom plate, and then this goes on the underside and sandwiches the arms in between, and holds everything nice and tight. And these are, let's see, the bottom plate looks like 3 mil carbon, and I can, stop guessing. Might as well just check it, Yep, 3 mil carbon. The very bottom plate looks like really thin. It looks like 1.5 mil carbon. So it's mostly there just to provide, stability to the arms. And then this is 2 mil carbon, this top plate. So, yep, the bottom plate is, or the arm plate, I guess you could call it. Arm brace is thinner than the rest. And then our arm, the 5-inch arms that we're not using are, in fact, 5 mil, as I said. Yep. So there it is. That's how everything is set up on the CL1. And we'll go ahead and set these aside for when I inevitably break something. Alright. Get the bottom. So the screw positions here are important. You want to make sure that these face up. The arms go under on the underside, and then the plate goes on the very bottom of that, and then the screws come up from the bottom and snug everything down into place. And we want this other little kit here, which has the longer screws to accommodate our 8 mil arms. And the 2 holes are the front, and the 4 holes are the back. And you can also look for this 20 by 20 mounting pattern back here. That's another way to know which one's the front and which one's the back. So we want the rear arms. Yep. I do like the CL1. There we go. Assume that's long enough, yep. I think I have it flipped over. There we go. There it is. Yeah, sometimes it just takes a second to get your orientation. Of course, I grabbed the wrong one. Alright. Don't tighten anything up. Just go nice and slow. We're going to work our way around the quad, attaching arms. And this guy coming out this way. And then the fronts. Remember to keep them nice and loose until we got all 4 in place. All 4 screws started. You'll thank me later. It's so much easier to snug everything down once everything's in place rather than as you go. Where are you? There you are. And it looks like they've given us 10 or 11 millimeter motor screws for everything, which is really nice because these arms don't have inset screw holes. So you got to have a nice long. Squish your X just a little bit and then tighten everything down. Alright, there's the bottom attached. And then up through the bottom plate are holes, and they attach with standoffs here and there. And that is ready to take a stack. Now, the nice thing about the CL1 that I really like is that you can put the stack bolts in after you've attached your arms. You don't have to worry about going up through, you know, the holes or anything, because they're nice big holes underneath here for your stack bolts. And let's figure out what our stack looks like here. Then we can grab some standoffs. Okay. So we've got wire, that's nice. We've got lots of components. And alright, excellent. Let's get this guy tinned up. I have the iron set to about 425. That's Celsius, or right around 800 Fahrenheit. And that's where I usually keep it most of the time. Doing the negative pad, you got to put a little more heat into it. Takes a little bit longer usually. You know, I always forget that I have a stick vise that I should use. Just makes for a nice cleaner build. Swirl. Just touch the tip of the iron to the solder. Place the solder on the board and swirl. And feed in a little bit. Yep. What we're doing is we're tinning up all the pads here in preparation for our motors, which will come later. Yeah, that's right. Bob, touch the hot side. Let's clean off our tip a little bit, re-tin it, and then start over on this side. Doesn't take a whole lot to tin these guys. You just want to swirl the tip around. All right, excellent. Good night. Love you too. Alright, let's get our wires put on here. Let's see, what are these? These are 14 AUG. That should be more than enough for a 6S quad. And it's always a good idea to add more solder to these tinned wires, pre-tinned wires, because it's usually crappy lead-free solder on the ends. And it's hard to make lead-free work. Nice and toasty. There we go. And it even comes with a cap. Let's see, this is 35 volt, 1000 microfarads. I'm not going to install it. I almost never do. And I never really have any issues on DJI. So we're just going to let it fly. If I have problems later, I'll come back and do it. But with the stack going in and the DJI Air unit sitting right back here, I don't want to have to fight around or fidget with it too much. So I'm just going to leave it off for now. And we'll see about it if it becomes a problem. Alright. So far so good. I actually liked how the pads took the solder on this Hyphon RC. I mean, Hyphion, or Hyphion? Who knows? Alright, got our ESC just about ready to go in. Come on now. Don't fight me. There we go. Good. Going out the back like so. And then our, let's see, what do we got here? Okay, we've got red and black. Yeah. Does it say on the bottom? Yes, it does. Good. So we've got battery voltage, ground, the TX and the current for your the old school way of measuring current. Now we do everything pretty much through the BL Heli 32 bidirectional D-shot, and then the 4 motor outputs. And then over here we've got negative, positive, NC, 4321 current, and the receiver for the telemetry that really isn't used anymore. So all we got to do is map this to this and we should be good to go. So we'll go ahead and get this going. Yeah, making the cable not the most glamorous, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. It's by far a whole lot easier to pull these pins out just by going through with your X-Acto, lifting the tab slightly gently, and then sliding out the cable. Yeah, come on. Come on out. There you go. Yeah, for whatever reason, the T-motor likes to use 2 grounds on their plugs. I don't know why that is. They also use a weird 10-pin plug, which is, unlike most 8 pins, is usually plenty. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove one of these. There we go. Plug that back in. Now, to gingerly lift the pads on an otherwise cheap connector so that we can reuse it. Come on out of there. Yep. Slow and tedious, but it is what it is. Just take your time. Don't rush. There's no reason to lift it too high or too far out. Oh. I like it when they label the board. Not all manufacturers do, although generally if you buy a standalone ESC it is labeled, but you know, stack boards that came in stacks and other things sometimes aren't labeled. They just, it's like, oh well, using it as a stack, why would you ever change it? Alright, and always double check that it goes in like that. Okay, so let's get our red wire, our voltage in, put in place, because that's the first one. Okay, good. Okay, use the X-Acto and just kind of there's probably a tool for doing this. I just don't have it. Good. And then the next one is going to be, alright, let's make sure that we got it right. So V, yep, is that one, and this one is ground. Oh, come on. Okay, that's 2. Let's see, current is the yellow wire, I believe. Yep, yellow wire. And actually that's, we want telemetry next. So that's the purple wire. And then we'll do the yellow wire after that. And then all that's left are the motor wires. Are these upside down? Did I really install these upside down? I did. Yep, that's right. Even I can fuck things up. I'm gonna blame it on the fact that I worked all day. I'm staying up late to do a build. Alright. Now, 4 is going to be this one. And it goes into this guy right here. Right? 4 goes to 4. Yep. It doesn't actually matter much. Betaflight's actually really good in this way, where you can just go into the CLI and resource map to make your motors spin in the correct position. It takes a minute to figure it all out, but in the end it works great. Okay, this one should be 2, and come on. One. Okay. I think we're in good shape here. Give them just a gentle little tug. I'm going to go through and just make sure that they all seated home. Because we don't want any mishaps later. Alright, now we're ready to go. Let's get our last connector, battery connector in place. Let's see here. There we go. Okay. Okay, so we've got positive and negative. And yes, I will remember to put this on first. Believe me, that doesn't happen every time. Okay. Here we go. Hot. Okay. And this one. There it goes. All right. Put that back over here. Okay. There it is. That one's done. This cable is done. We were going to run GPS on this guy, but I don't think I will tonight. Alright. So, is this the right? Nope. Oh gosh. Let's see if I have the right DJI cable for this. I do. Yep. Do I have any other? No. Alright, we'll make use of that. In that case, and get our Vista. Oh, how are we looking here? Oh, good. Uh-oh. My face cam isn't running. Well, I'm back. Alright, face cam working now. Hopefully I'm not, my face cam isn't dying. That would be a major bummer. Usually pretty good about double checking before I start talking, but maybe I didn't. It's alright. So, you got a brief respite from my ugly mug. Okay. All right. Okay, the DJI, we'll just use this for reference because it's a black cable, not terribly useful. But before we do all that, let's get our cable done. Cable is very easy to replace, takes about a couple minutes. So if you've never done one, it's pretty straightforward. So you take out this screw along the side, okay, and that lifts off this little spring-loaded pad. And then you take a pair of fine tweezers and you just want to get under the edge here and lift that guy off, and then just boop, right like that. Alright, now on the camera itself, you've got two screws, and they are the standard 1.5 millimeter screws. And two. Okay, so comes up, and what you'll likely see is that they've used some RTV or some rubberizing glue or vulcanizing glue to hold this down. And you just get under one edge and lift. And that usually pops it right off. And now there's nothing wrong with this cable, so we'll keep that around for the next micro build we do. And we'll do this guy right here. Alright, and this is the, make sure you have it facing the right way so the pins go down. Alright, just position it in place. Okay, and then just gently use your thumb or your fingernail to gently push it into place. Okay. There's a ton of goo on this one, so bear with me while I this black schmoo that they put on here can sometimes interfere with reinstallation. So just, you know, if you have that issue, just, you know, oh, it doesn't want to stay down or it doesn't want to, keeps lifting up, this is most likely the cause, is this black schmoo that they put on here to kind of keep the cable stable. And honestly, it's completely unnecessary. I have a toothpick that I run naked, and it just, yeah. The connector, this is called a PTZ connector. So if you ever need a replacement, you can usually find PTZ stuff on Amazon or other places. But alright, that seems better. Doesn't seem like it's popping up now. Okay, back in, screws in. But yeah, so a naked Cat-X Vista, there's no spring holding the connector in place or anything. I mean, it's as bare bones as it comes, and reduces the weight to something like 10 grams, 11 grams, and which is really nice for, you know, getting a DJI video signal, you know. All right. This one can be a little more tricky. Okay. Position the cable as best you can. There it is. Yep. Okay. And then this guy, this one side, comes over and hooks under there on that little post, and then comes across, and then the screw goes in. And there it is. Cable replacement on a Cat-X Vista. Now, this cable is kind of much too long for this quad, but it's what I have on hand. And you can see it's going to mount back here on these standoffs, and I've got, you know, 3 extra inches of cable that I'll have to figure out. But no worries. We'll make that work. Now, let's go ahead and tin up our Vista. Yeah. Hopefully you can see this. And again, the iron's set to about 425 Celsius. Okay. So if it's sitting in there like this, it needs to come back and wrap under. We're going to go right here. Okay, so this side is $10 volt. Oh, come on. And what we're going to do is we're just going to flip it like that. And then we'll know that this side over here is correct. As long as we go in order, we should be just fine. Okay, go ahead and tin these guys. Actually, yeah, we'll just tin them up. Gross. This wire melts. It's not silicon wire. Okay. Good. All right, let's confirm. This one here is 10 volts, and the one next to it is ground. So we're going to wire that one right up to the voltage in. Good. Okay. Okay. All right. Good. Now, let's see if we can figure out our stack real quick. We're going to need some of these, and probably some of these, and how long are these? What are these, like 25 millimeter stack bolts? That should be more than enough. Let's see. Do we have 4? Looks like it. Okay. Well, I won't be using those. Let's see if the barrel head. Let's see, what do we got? We've got these guys. Will these fit up through here? Yes. All right. So we use these instead. 2, 3. Don't ask me why I have shoulder bolts. Came in this kit. Inexplicably. Okay. Get this guy down. And then we're going to need a short riser. There's 1, 2, 3. And 4. Well, they're all different sizes. Yeah, the getting this guy in place first will help us figure out if we need longer standoffs, if we need why is that one turning? I think I need another M3 kit. Running out of the connectors, nylon stack connectors. Okay. Alright, I think I've got it now. Sometimes you just gotta figure out what's going on. This one is like damaged or something, cross-threaded. It's being a pain in the ass. There we go. And one more. I don't get it. There we go. All right. Good. Now this one goes on like this. I'm going to disconnect the DJI, plug this guy in like this. Nope, wrong way around. Okay. got some more screws. They're nylon. Let's see if these are any better. Much better. Okay, we are just about there. With our stack. Let's go ahead and torque this down a little bit. And we should be in good shape. Pull this guy out. Give it a couple of twists. Tidy it up. Alright, so there's the stack mounted in the frame, and we'll get the DJI in. First we should probably mount up our antenna. There it is. The antenna is fairly straightforward. You just loosen up this screw. All you got to do is loosen it, and then you open up this little tab here, and do not force this in off center, right? You just want to get it lined up, put your thumb on top, and push straight down, because if you can damage the grounding element in the middle, and your reception will be shit. Although still pretty good, surprisingly. And then you just kind of hope that you can get it back into some sort of shape. I can get maybe 1 in 4 back under. Yeah. I don't understand why it's so weird. Alright, and then just tighten it up. See? Problem solved, sort of. Anyway, alright. So we want this guy mounted in the rear, which means we're going to need some screws to hold it in place. And we'll use these guys, I believe. Oh, come on. And then a couple of nuts, 2, 3, and 4. And of course I didn't bother routing the cable under the flight stack or any of that other stuff that I probably should have done, but You know what? I think it'll be alright. I've got plenty of extra cable. So we'll just run it along the top plate. Okay. Let's get this one started. And the last one. And yeah, these screws are a bit too long, but they're what I have. It's hard to find 18 millimeter or 16 millimeter screws that will work for this application. And I don't really know why. Okay. And are you going to go in? Yes. And now we're going to install some standoffs up front to mount our camera to, so it's not flopping about. Okay. We'll get out all of our standoffs, or the 6 we're going to end up using it. That's the other thing about this quad, is that you can only really fit 6 standoffs because of the outside edge of the air unit is just too big. It's just the Cadex Vista is just too large, and that's kind of what they did with the HD one, is they just didn't put that standoff there. So and I found that these little rubber gummies work just fine for this camera. And you just want to get it so that the camera sits behind the posts. So, and then you're good to go. Set aside and save your screws in case you need them again. Yeah, okay, good. Perfect. And then this one goes on this side, on the top. These things are snug. All right. So there's the camera. And if you get too much post, switch over to the short ones. But yeah, it should be fine. Then we'll just zip tie this wire in place, and that'll be all good. All right, time for the motors. Motor time. What are we looking here? Okay. What time is it? Okay. Let's do a quick cleanup. I don't think I need those wires for anything. Put that there. Okay. We're going to be running these longer ones, which I think should be more than enough. Maybe not. Too much. Well, I mean, I wouldn't run so little engagement. That's just not enough. I mean, I don't know what size screw these are, but they're 10 mil. Actually, I take that back. They're just shy of 10 mil. Which is a real bummer. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable with that little bit of engagement. I think that would be not enough. Which means I may need to tap into... Oh, let's see, I've got M3 by 20. I've got M3 by 25. Let's see. These are M2 by 35, which are extremely long. These are not listed, but appear to be 12. M3 by 12. Or maybe 11. Yeah, if you get a chance, just go online and buy yourself a couple of... Yeah. So I've got M3 by 7. I've got M3 by 9, and now these 12. Let's see how this guy looks. Oh, night and day difference there. That's the perfect amount. Comes up just a bit high, so we'll just be careful, but it's not getting anywhere near the windings. We'll just play it real ginger with her right around here. Yep. Good. Good, good, good. I think we're in good shape with these guys. Rotor Riot. Sending me short screws. 9.5mm screws. Alright, so this guy's okay, and this one's okay, and this one just needs to be, just pay attention as it's going in to make sure you're not cutting into that wire. Yep. Nice. I like it. Alright. Keep on trucking. Don't need that. Don't need these or any of this other stuff. Set her. Windings are gold on this. It's different. All right. Okay. Position the wires along the arm. That helps when if you're following along at home. If you point them in another direction, you just have to take the motor off and do it again. And yes, I speak from experience. All right. You'll notice I am not putting any sort of thread locker or other chemical on these. I don't believe in it. I don't feel like we need it. If you're putting together a quad, go out and fly it, and if you break a motor or break something, the thread locker makes it impossible to take off. And I can count on one hand the number of screws I've lost on the 60 plus builds I've done since I got started. And it's a problem that doesn't need solving. Okay, it just don't bother. It's a headache. You break off a screw head, you're fighting it. It's disappointing all around. It will just make your life more miserable. Instead, what I propose doing, and what I think should be a standard operating procedure for anyone who wants to go fly a quad, is to do a bit of a safety inspection before they take to the sky. And that means flipping your quad over and looking and saying, huh, looks like I lost a screw, and replacing it before you fly it. You know, I mean, there's 4 on here. 2 of these are redundant. You can get by with 2 screws. Some quads only allow you to have 2 screws. You can get by with 1 screw. Your motor's going to be making all kinds of funky noise, but it'll fly with 1 screw in it. Yeah, I'm just not a believer in the thread locker. Now, for automotive applications or other applications where safety is paramount, absolutely, thread locker. You know, you don't want crankcase bolts backing out, or head bolts, or like head bolts, probably a bad example. You actually oil those, but Hopefully you can see this and it's not terribly out of focus. Alright, looking good. Okie dokie. Let's get our kit out of the way so that we can have a little more room to operate. We don't need these anymore, but useful to have. And we are going to come along the arm like so. Come up. See if we can keep it nice and tidy. Alright, quit fighting me. Okay. Okay. Come along the arm like so. Alright. Get a little more solder. Okay. All right. Now we just go in order. Oh, come on. One. Here we go. All right, 2, and 3. Now, start with this one. The middle one. There we go. I'm happy with that. If you're ever unhappy with it, just reflow it. Makes no sense to have ugly solder joints on your craft. If you don't like it, it takes about a minute. There it is. Alright, let's flip it around and do this other side. So far, so good. Okay, come over and up. Alright, come over and there we go. All right. I think we're looking pretty good here. Okay. All right, grab the outside one first. Right, yep. And get this. There we go. That one's now done. Yep. Alright, do the next one. And we got that. Yep. These motors are a little weird. I put together a bunch of quads using this brand of motor, but not this particular one. And the strands were never this, it didn't fray nearly as much as they are on this one. I don't know why it would be different. Unless these are knockoffs or something else. Okay, so there's that guy, like so. We are coming down to the end here. All right. Okay. So we've got the DJI cable routed up like that. This guy's going to come out the back. Got front standoffs in. Time for the mid standoff. Let's see here. Want these guys for that. Okay. Yeah, so if you're planning to run the Deadcat, my recommendation is to pick up some M3x12 screws to make it work. Otherwise, your day will not be fun. Alright. And I'll print out a mount and a GoPro mount for the antenna. There's a couple of good ones that kind of keeps it up and back at kind of a 45-degree angle, and I'll have one of those printed out overnight, and we should be in good shape here. Yeah, let's get our top plate. Actually, let's do a smoke stopper test here. Let's do a smoke test real quick before we continue on. I realized I didn't do a Bardwell test, which is basically just double checking that your positive and negative aren't shorted together anywhere in your quad. And these are not, so we're in good shape. We should be able to plug in with our smoke stopper. Okay. Everyone ready? Success. Oop, got green light. That's good noise. All right. We know the quad works. At least boots, anyway. Let's see if I can do something about these messy wires here. There we go. Alright, that's good. That's pretty good. And we'll put the top plate on with these short ones. Yeah, we're just about at the end here. Just about. Good, good. That's our Deadcat CL1, pretty much done. We'll go ahead and put on my good black electrical tape. Used to sit right over here on this little tray, and now it's gone. We'll try this stuff, see how it performs. This is the Super 88 from Scotch. No idea if it's any good or not, so could be crap. I'm sure my other stuff probably made it into my field bag, and it's probably just sitting somewhere. In the field. Okay, good. I don't usually go super crazy with the tape. That doesn't look too bad. All right. Yeah, the Rotor Riot guys have been running this quad on 6-inch and really like it. And I figured I'd do a 7-inch build of it. All right, 2 down, 2 to go. Yeah, I actually have some Brother Hobby 2507s used ones that would be a good choice for a 6-inch, but they're still in the mail. So I kind of wanted to do a build tonight. Okay. All right. Straighten these out a little bit. Kind of tuck them under. Each other, like so. And there it is, the CL1. Pretty happy with how it turned out. Like I said, I'll have a GoPro mount printed up and a DJI antenna mount. Well, the Caddx Vista. I say DJI, but you guys all know what I mean. There we go. That's sharp. All right. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate all my new subscribers, and hope that you guys enjoy this content as much as I like making it, because I really like building things and just putting things together. Especially things in interesting creations that haven't been made before, and hopefully I'll get back to doing that a little bit in the next coming builds. So until next time, thank you for watching. All right, so here we have the all-up weight of the CL1 long range with the 7-inch arms. I'm actually running these floppy props from Lumineer, but I'll probably end up putting something else on while I'm out at the field. I just thought I'd give these a try because I've had them on my bench for like a year and haven't even touched them. So, all right, we've got an 1100 milliamp hour, and we'll probably end up running this on like 4 6S 18650 cells. But we're at 200 grams, and then we add the quad. Oh, come on. Don't. All right. 200 grams. Yep, 201. Good. All right, are we touching? Nope. And then we've got a GoPro over here, a mount, GoPro, and I'm charging the batteries right now. And the battery, 860. Now, my Source 1 clocked in somewhere near want to say it was 1,000 grams almost exactly for the Source 1. So, you know, here we're saving about 100 grams on this thing, which I'm fairly impressed by that, actually. Of course, you know, this probably isn't 100% final. I may add GPS to it. The Source 1 did have GPS, and so did the Project 399 that I built. Both of those had GPS on them. So, yeah, overall, pretty happy with how this has turned out. Just about to go maiden it, so stay tuned for some flight footage. All right. Again, thank you for watching.